identity as an African woman shaped my experience 100% because it influenced how I was perceived in every room. And I would say not a lot of the population had ever been to Africa or had any African experience. Maybe they had seen Americans, or maybe they had seen, like, gone to Egypt, on holiday, but they weren't very familiar with the African experience. For example, we would have definitely weird experiences that we would categorize as ignorant. For example, I had a friend who was American, but with Nigerian roots. And when she was coming, one of the people in charge found her an apartment and told the landlord that an American was coming. So the landlord came on the day to hand over the keys to the American, and the person in charge came and the girl came, and it just became a whole problem. He was like, I thought you said an American. And the person was like, yes, this is an American. So I think that was the day she learned what the word black meant. Right. Mm. So it's one of those stories that we share in class. She shared her story about how, your passport doesn't help you in any way as long as you walk into a room and you're perceived as black. But the fact that we were students and we were paying fees, and that subsidized their economy, that helped us in certain ways where they would just basically tolerate us because they knew we're like law-abiding citizens and we're just there for something, and then we would leave at the end.
My name is NuiUnited. I was a student in Ukraine. I was in the Institute of Commerce and Financial in Ukraine. I was in my third year in finance and accounting in Ukraine. I'm 29 years old. In Ukraine, for we, life was very, I can say, normal for us before everything started with the war. And in Ukraine, it was a very good country for some of us. For some of us who have this strength and power to fight for life and everything. It's true, in Ukraine, there was kind of racism and everything. Even like me, when I first entered Ukraine, I didn't too much feel this racism and everything. It's when this war started, I was living in the country without knowing with who we are living in the country, So when I reached the train station, there were a lot of people there, black, white, and everything. But the painful part, it was when the train came, because we expected the first train at noon. They said no, the train is not going anywhere and everything. We stayed till 5 p.m. At some point, I wanted to go back in my apartment. 5 p.m., the train arrived. Everybody was just rushing and everything to enter the train. That was the worst part. I'm sure if maybe those guys, I was the only girl among those guys. I'm sure if it was just me, I wouldn't be able to leave Ukraine. Because the pressure and then the tension was a lot, and then people were just marching on top people because they want to enter. And then at some point, people was like, no, just Ukrainian people, all those black, no, you don't have the right to enter inside the train, just Ukrainian and everything. Okay, at some point, to enter the train, it was so difficult. We black, we have this power in us that even white people doesn't understand, It's not because they was fighting to enter inside the train. Maybe at some point, some of those black people, they stayed because all of us, all those people around couldn't bear the pressure and everything, because some people was marching on top of other people to enter inside the train. Like in my own case, because I have guys around me that were pushing me to enter inside the train, carrying my bag, and then they were pushing me, let me enter inside the train to not to have this kind of pressure and everything. Then when we enter inside the train, that part was like, no, you don't have to enter there. That one is for Ukrainians. No, you need to sit underground. All this kind of thing. At some point, it was like, we all are running from the same thing. We all are running from the same thing. It's not like because you are Ukrainian, we are black, or you are white. When they are sending the bomb, is only for one particular people that are sending the bomb. The bomb is for the whole country, and then every person inside that country is affected. Not only you, Ukrainian people. Like at some point, we have to fight to enter inside one room to get place, at least to sit down. Even though we cannot, at least to sit down. Other people was like, no, there's a pregnant woman we killed that. No, you need to stand up for her to sit down. She buy ticket. You buy ticket, but this is not your room. Like, yes, you buy ticket, but this room is not your room. Go forward. No, you need to stand up because I'm Ukrainian and everything. I was like, I just said thank God because those guys was with me, and then they make sure that I have maybe a place to stay inside the train. Like we spent like 19 hours inside the train. People were like all this corridor of the train. People was sleeping there. People were sitting and everything. Even to go to toilet, you have to stay. You cannot even pass to go to toilet because there's no space. There were no space at all. When we reached in Lviv, till now we just say thank God because we reached to Lviv. But when we took one driver, like we need to cross the border, we have to walk like 12 hours before we reach the border. Like me, in my condition now, because I have a head problem in my two legs. Like at some point in my mind was I cannot make it because even 1/4 of the hours I cannot make it because I know my condition. The journey was so hard. Like what I mean hard, it was so hard. So when we reached in Poland border, that was the worst part. No black have the right to cross the border, only Ukrainian. Like as we spent like 3 days standing, like standing inside the cold, inside the snow. This one was, there was like, we stayed outside, like inside the cold. It's not like the place was like covered with something. No food, no anything, no water, no food. Like we were like inside the jungle, fighting for our life, to survive, actually, if I can say it like that, just to survive. I felt very, like, really sad and bad, you know, because it's not like in Ukraine I was illegal in Ukraine. I was a student. I have my student document. I have my temporary resident permit. If someone told me that this thing will happen one day in my life, I will never believe. Never, because I can say this is the second time experiencing this kind of thing like war, because I'm coming from Cameroon, and then the English side of Cameroon thing, like I've saw people killing people in front of me. When this thing happened again, I was like, why this again? Why saying to another person that that person needs to go back to your country, it's really painful, because they don't know exactly what is going in our different countries. It's painful. Wherever we are finding ourselves, we need to fight for our right.
Hi, my name is Vera Ilo. I am 25 years old. I am from Nigeria, and I was studying international relations in Ukraine. And I have been in Ukraine for more than 2 years before the war started. Life in Ukraine before the war, I'm going to be very sincere, it was wonderful. There's nothing pushing you away from your house. You're going to school, you're going to your place of work, and you're going back home. There's no fear of bomb landing on your head. It was free. Although there were some racists, of course, because they don't understand you, and once they see us blacks, they feel intimidated by us. Because Ukraine is a very affordable country. It's a country where you can afford your daily meals, you can work is good, they pay well, and you can be able to save and also pay your fees, and you don't get to spend too much on feeding. So Ukraine is a very affordable country and a very cool country. Leaving Ukraine during the war was not easy on my part, really, because first of all, it was hard to access the train stations because there were stampedes, a lot of people in the train station. You can't even pass through because the police will not allow you if you're black. That is one thing. If you're black, you're not allowed to take the train leaving the city or even leaving Ukraine. And they were saying women and children. So I tried to go in, and the policeman there said no, that only Ukrainians first. So I tried telling them that I was pregnant, because at then I was my first trimester. So I tried explaining to them that okay, I'm pregnant and I'm also a woman, as you can see. But the policeman wasn't even. I didn't know he doesn't even understand English. I had to stay in the train station the next morning, and when the train to Warsaw came, so I was able to also enter the train going to Warsaw. And the thing is, when I got into the train going to Warsaw, we as blacks were not allowed to sit on the chair. They were like, we should stand up for Ukrainians to sit on the chair. And there were some empty spaces. And the Ukrainians, what they do is, those empty chairs, they put their pets on the chairs. For real, they put their pets on the chairs. They don't allow you, a human, to sit. So I was pregnant at that time, and I was already tired from being dehydrated. I only drank coffee that morning. So I saw a black man that has a Ukrainian wife. So I had to speak English to them. I was like, please, in my first trimester, I need to sit, I'm pregnant. So the wife can explain to the police on the train that, please, this lady is pregnant, she needs to sit. So the wife went to meet the police, and the man said it's not his business, that we should go back to our own country, that Africa has no war. And there is no war in Africa, that we don't have to be here going to Warsaw with them, running away with them, that we can go back to our own country, that if I'm pregnant, is not his business. So I stood there and I started crying. So we went further inside the train, and we saw a group of blacks, and we explained to them that, please, I'm pregnant and I need to sit. So two of them stood up for me to sit. And those blacks, why they were able to sit down, it was because they revolted against the policeman. So the two of them stood up for me to sit and for me to relax in the train. So it wasn't easy because there was no food. There was a point in time that we got to a stop, and some people shared water, from people outside the train in the stop. They shared water, they shared snacks, and they gave only to Ukrainians. If you are a black and you stretch your hand through the window to get water, they won't give to you. So I couldn't get water because I was screaming in the train, please, I'm pregnant, someone should help me. I couldn't get water, I couldn't get food. I was eating only popcorn, and I don't know where one went to, and he brought water for me to drink. So I was feeding on popcorn and water in the train throughout. So when we got to the border, they were like, okay, everybody come out for check-in. So I told one of the guys that, please, I can't walk. If I stand up, I'm going to fence. That they should please call for medical attention for me. So they started shouting that, please, there's a pregnant woman in the train. She's sick. She needs help. So they tried. So one of the Polish policemen checking on said, okay, they should bring the pregnant woman out. So on my way out, trying to calm down, according to what they said I collapsed because there was no food, no water, and there was no nutrients in my body. So I collapsed, and I woke up in the ambulance, because I woke up when they were trying to prick me with a needle. I was like, what are you doing to me? And I looked around me and I said, I'm in the ambulance. So we went to the place for the scan, and when they scanned the pregnancy, they saw my baby breathing, and everybody was shocked. Like, how did this happen? How can you were feeding on popcorn and water, and your baby is still okay? Nothing is wrong. Your baby is fine. It's just you that is dehydrated. That have no nutrient and fluid in your body. So I met a reverend sister that took me to the convent, and I stayed with them, and I came to Warsaw. Then I was close to my second trimester. Being pregnant without knowing anyone in Warsaw wasn't easy for me. It wasn't, because sometimes I would wish, okay, if I had gone back to my country, if I had, what should I do? Because going back to my country means I'm going to forfeit my education in Ukraine. Because before the war started, I already paid my school fee of $4,000 already. So I paid my school fees today, and the next 2 days the war started. So I didn't even get to get the value for my money. I didn't even get to go to class. The only proof I have that I paid my fee was the transfer to the school, that the bank draft I used. That was the only proof I have. So losing that kind of money, and now in a country where I don't know anybody, and being pregnant, it was as if my life, my whole life was crumbling, because no place for help, nobody to go to for help. So it wasn't funny at all. My experience as a new mom, it has not been easy. Like, being a mom, it takes 99% of you and leaves you with 1% for yourself. Like, being alone and being a new mom, because I really don't have, there's nobody to teach me what to do, because there's a language barrier. Even if they want to, they can't speak English. They don't know how to tell me, and I don't know how to ask them, because there's a language barrier. So it's really hard. I have to research on my own. I have to find out. I have to experiment. Sometimes I try a lot of things until I know, okay, this one is right for me to continue doing. So being a new mom here in Warsaw, it's really a huge task, and I hope I'm killing it, because that's really not been easy on my end. Because sometimes it gets to affect my mental health, in the sense that sometimes I can be very depressed, would be tired. Sometimes I get angry for no just reason, because I'm stressed from taking care of him, breastfeeding him, cleaning the house, taking care of myself, also doing a whole lot of things at the same time. So it's very important for racism to be addressed, so that people would know it is wrong. Because most people it happens to, they think it's normal for people to talk, for Ukrainians or Polish people to talk to them like that. No, it's not normal for someone to be brutal or wicked to you because you have particular skin color, because of your skin color. It's not normal for you to be rejected or be denied something because of your skin color. So racism needs to be addressed. There should be a sensitization on racism, so that people will know that these things are wrong. So when people see racism, they can call it, and they can stand their ground and know that, okay, you are wrong for doing this to me. Because it really affects the person's, racism causes inferiority complex. So secondly, blacks need to come together as one to support themselves, because if you have your brothers, your sisters by your side, you're strong enough to overcome whatever comes your way. Really happy I'm having to know NoirUnited. You guys have been good to me. Wow. Really, really good. And I pray God keep blessing and expanding and adding to your pocket. Thank you so much for all the good works you've done for me, for other people that are not here to say, but really, you guys are just the best. Really, thank you for being there from day one to this very moment, for watching me when being pregnant, giving birth, for all the gifts for my child, and also for me. I really do appreciate it, and I pray God blesses and enrich and take you guys to higher and greater heights. Amen.